everybody, to the BBN pregame show. I am Drew Vonsayo. I'm joined now by Bethany head football coach Brandon Robinson. Coach, thank you for being here today. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. So one of the aspects that was highlighted since you took over, and again at the PAC Football Media Day, was this change of culture that you have instilled within the program. How did you get the players to buy into that mentality so quickly?
Yeah, so from day one, I told them that culture is the foundation of who we are, and culture just isn't something that you just talk about. It's something that you see every single day in your habits, your actions, your behaviors. So I had to be very intentional in terms of what we're asking, what our expectations, what our standards are, and then it's just not demanding out of them, but I have to model it as well. I have to have high standards for myself and our coaching staff, and it's got to be demanded across the board. And I think when you're genuine and it's coming from the right place, and at the core of it is developing young men and having their best interest at heart, and when you have that at your heart, that's it's easy to buy into. And I think they've done a great job of buying into what we want to see and what we expect out of them. And I'm very excited about how far we've come in a short amount of time in these areas.
So you just completed your first camp, and I'm sure you would argue it wasn't long enough, but you mentioned as well in the PAC Media Day about the position battles, the biggest one being the starting quarterback, as Dom Salinetro had just graduated, ultimately deciding that Marquise Robinson will get the nod under center against Hiram. What did you see out of him in camp and this past week?
Well, the biggest thing that we saw was just his leadership ability and his ability to just drive the offense. Within our offensive system, a quarterback has to make decision after decision. He's constantly reading defenses. He's constantly making decisions, hand the football off, throw the football. And not saying that you don't want the most talented individual at that position to win the battle, but it's the individual that's going to make consistent, good decisions. That's going to put our offense in the best situation to be successful, and that's what Marquise has done. And I've been very pleased with how he's done that, and I'm excited to see him play this weekend.
So there were obviously other position battles as well, aside from the quarterback position. Can you elaborate on what some of those were and what you saw out of them in camp and this past week?
Yeah, so we always talk offense, defense, but special teams, it's that third phase. It's just as important. So it was fun to kind of see some of those specialist battles from long snapper to punter. Those battles take place, and we got some young guys in those positions that won those battles, but they won them outright. They did a great job, and I think you can look for our special teams to be sound and those guys to do a good job on Saturday. But on top of that, I mean, there was position battles all over the place. You look at the wide receiver. We got some good wide receivers, and it was fun to see those guys compete and jockeying for those positions. And I think they did a really good job in that area of just when they had their opportunities to make plays, they made plays. And then on the defense side of the ball, we got a lot of returning guys, so there wasn't quite as many battles. But you saw some guys really separate themselves in positions like Dexter Smith at safety. You look at, on the defensive line, Nathan Rouse, he separated himself inside. And, seeing Fofeng really coming to his own, I thought, this camp. So I think you're seeing some guys really emerge that we expected them to be guys in those positions, but you really never know until we get out there and we get practicing. So it's good to see them reach their potential, what we thought they can do, and now they got to go perform and execute at a high level on game day.
So you mentioned the defense returning a lot of players. How important was that for you with a little bit of a comfortability factor coming in, heading into your first week as head coach?
Yeah, so I've talked with this, to the players, to coaches, and the reality is that the defense has to be the backbone of our team, and they have to be the guys that we rely on because they have a lot of football. They've played a lot of football. They got a lot of experience. So they're the guys that have to go into these game days and be the guys that we lean on. As our offense, with some new faces, as we get our feet underneath of us, they got to be the ones that we lean on and help us compete in these games.
So you're facing off against Hiram Saturday, a team that's in a very similar predicament. Young, coming off of a not-so-great season last year. What are your expectations for this contest here at home?
Well, when you look at film, right, they're coached well. I mean, they're coached well. We know that they're going to put themselves in really good positions, play in and play out. They're going to play sound football, and it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, that's our expectations. We know they're going to play hard and they're going to be sound. And when you play a team like that, that means you have to play harder. You got to be more sound, and you have to not make those big, crucial mistakes that can ultimately cost you the game at the end of the day.
And then one last question here for you, Coach. Your 3 keys to the game for the Bison to come out on top.
Well, I'd say the first one we always start with is we got to take care of the football. Bottom line, we can't turn the football over. If you look at the game from last year, there was a lot of turnovers, and we got to take care of it. That means making good decisions at the quarterback position in terms of where we're going with the football. That means everybody that touches the football having proper ball security and not putting that ball on the turf. I mean, that's always where we're going to start. The next thing is, from a defensive standpoint, all right, we got to play sound defense in terms of we're running to the football, we're tackling, we're striking the ball carriers, whoever has the ball, we're getting them on the ground. And the third piece is just sound special teams. Okay, we're not asking our special teams to win ball games for us, but we're asking them to be sound, and we're asking them to not lose ball games from the standpoint of just doing things the right way. Whether it's kickoff, great lane integrity, whether it's punts, having good protection, whatever it is, just being sound in all those areas on special teams. So if you look from that standpoint, take care of the football, run and tackle, and good special teams, and we got a shot to win this ball game.
All right, Coach, thanks again for your time. Best of luck Saturday.
Awesome, thank you.
We're back here on the BBN pregame show. I'm joined now by senior defensive end Jordan Aldridge. Jordan, welcome to the show, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course. So first question here for you is that you joined Coach Robinson about a month ago in Latrobe for the PAC Football Media Day. What did that mean to you, knowing that there's around 130 players on your team, and you were the one he selected to represent this team?
I think it was a very cool experience. Like, I remember I used to watch the PAC Media Day every year, and then getting the ability to go myself was just a very great experience. Me and Coach Rob have a good relationship. I knew Coach Rob before he came to Bethany. He recruited me before, but I knew him very well, and it was very cool to make our relationship even better, just going and doing that together.
So then you're getting ready to start year 4 as a member of the Bison football program, and there's already a lot of eyes on you around the conference. How are you handling that pressure while also just trying to go out there and focus on playing ball?
There's really no pressure. It's just it's a football game. There's always going to be extra pressure. We already got to execute what we have to do out there on the field. So I don't think about all the extra pressure that the Packer will be watching, or there's a huge responsibility. All I got to do is just make sure that all the guys that are going to be out on the field with me are doing the right thing, and we're all just moving in the same direction.
And then on that note, what goals do you have for this season, both individual and as a team?
Well, individually, my goals are, I feel like individual goals are important. I mean, I can't do anything without my team. The team goals, I just want us to just have a chance in every game and know that when we get into that chance, we will have the ability to win. Because this year, I feel like we have the talent to win. We just have to put it all together, and when we get in situations where we can win the game, we have to execute.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much, and best of luck Saturday against Hiram.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Back here on the BBN pregame show, I'm joined now by wide receiver and kick returner Devon McCloud. Devon, welcome to the show, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, Drew.
Of course. So along with Jordan and a few of your teammates, you were named to the PAC Players to Watch list this season. What does that honor mean to you entering your 4th year in the Bison football program?
Honestly, it's more of like a shocker, because I mean, knowing the season we had last year, we could have did a lot better, but we were just putting ourselves in circumstances that we couldn't get out of. But this year is just coming out, and everyone's got to make plays. But it's really not really nothing to worry about. It's just when it's time for me to make plays, I got to go out there and do what I got to do. That's it.
So you led all current receivers in receiving yards last season and were tied for the team lead in touchdowns. How do you plan on taking your game to the next level and elevating the offense as a whole?
Well, it really all started in the off season. That's where it all started. Every day in the weight room, going and get extra field work. It's all about being humble. As long as you put yourself in a predicament to win games and put your body in the right predicament, you're going to be all right. You just got to work through all the kinks.
So you talk about those predicaments for the body. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what some of those are?
It's all about making sure you're healthy, which is keeping yourself staying in the training room, getting treatment when it's needed, eating the right things, and just staying the course of the process. That's it.
And then can you talk a little bit about what it's been like for you with having a new head coach, having to learn an entirely different offense after spending the last 3 years with an offense that you were familiar with?
It all with Coach Rob. It really all started with the bond. Like I feel like with the team, once you create that special bond with your players and your coaches, then you can start the process of learning new things and asserting yourself into a new offense is just what comes easy. But Coach Rob really, it's a simple offense. It's just all broke down into different pieces like every offense is, but ours is a lot simpler than a lot.
All right, that's going to wrap things up here. Devon, thank you for your time, and best of luck to you Saturday.
Thank you, Drew.
We're back here on the BBN pregame show for today's final player, offensive tackle Aaron Barrett. Aaron, thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Drew.
Of course. So you spent last season playing left tackle, and now you're going to be starting Saturday at right tackle. What has that been like for you in camp, flipping everything to the opposite side with your hand motions and the footwork?
I knew that coming in that I would be playing the right side and left. So this summer I really focused on right side, and then when I would finish with my right side movements, I'd go back and do my left. So it wasn't too hard. It was a little challenging, but I spent a lot of time this summer on my footwork. So and my hand motions, and I think it worked out pretty well.
So you talked about the time you spent over the summer. How often would you say you were out there working on that footwork and the hand motions?
6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, every day, workout, run. And when I was done with running, I would go through my footwork while I was tired. So when I'm tired in a game, it won't be misdone.
So how would you describe so far in just the little bit of time you've worked with Coach Robinson, how would you describe what it's been like playing under him?
It's been a pleasure. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's nice to have a leader as a coach that shows up when we are there. We're in the weight room in the morning, he's there with us. No matter what, he is with us. And I think the whole team has adopted that culture, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
So then how are you embracing the idea of being one of the leaders on the offensive line this season?
At first, it came as a struggle because I was never a leader. Last year, I was. Coach Stanton and I had a talk about it, how to be a vocal leader, a physical leader, because I was always that leader that led by example. And I really worked on becoming a vocal leader, and I think it's worked out well. And it's nice that I've had other seniors with me to help me with my message, and I've helped them with theirs. And I think it really brought us offensive line together. I'm really excited to see what we're going to do this year.
And then one final question. You talked about it being your senior year. You just went through camp. What would you say was your best moment of camp?
Good question. Probably watching us as an offensive line go through the start and then finishing through, because we started to work in spring ball, and where we are now, I think we're light years ahead. I'm really excited to see how well we play. I think we're going to be one of the best offensive lines in the pack.
All right, that concludes our interview today. Aaron, thanks again for your time, and we wish you all the best Saturday against Hiram.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.